Welcome to Breaking the News Plus on this Monday night. And it's a good Monday in the sports world of Minneapolis and in the great state of Minnesota. I'm partial to the Lynx, and so I was at the playoff game yesterday afternoon when they got their first win. And guess who else was there? Kim Hyatt from the Star Tribune doing a story that I think is so important about the fans. Welcome to the Plus, Kim.
Thank you so much, Jana.
So when you went to Target Center, what was your goal yesterday? What was the story you were looking to tell?
We wanted to tell the story of this community. It's very unique and very authentic and inviting and loud and beautiful. And so I went there with the intent to meet as many fans as possible and sort of tell the story for those of you who might just be tuning into the Lynx, like this is what you should know about this fan base. And I think the story captured that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting concept to a story about, because we've been reporters a long time. A sports team gets success, so we do stories about local sports fans saying, yay, we're so good. But what you set out to do and show was very different than that, in that if you're going to go be on this bandwagon, number one, you're welcome on it. And number two, you might encounter a fan base that looks and feels different than what you might be typically used to.
Yeah, I think my objective is to only write about the fans when I go to our playoff games. I've found this mini beat of sorts writing just about fans, super fans, new fans, for both the Wolves and the Lynx, because my editors know I like basketball. And so it's like this perfect mix where I get to watch the game, but I get to go out and meet all of these diehard fans, some who have been following these teams for decades and others who just started like last season, which is a lot of the people I talked to at the Lynx game yesterday. But yeah, it's trying to create a story for people who don't necessarily read the sports section of the paper, and showing, again, like that welcomeness and inviting atmosphere. So perhaps someone reads it and thinks, oh, maybe I should go to a Lynx game. So.
Yeah, and for those of you watching, if you haven't read Kim's piece today, it's about welcoming everybody on the bandwagon. So can you kind of explain what you both observed, what you heard about the type of fan base you will find at a Minnesota Lynx game for people that don't know?
Yeah, it almost seems like part costume party in a way. Like everyone is so dressed up, and new this season is, of course, like the pink wigs. Everyone is wearing those now. But it's also like this big celebration. It's bigger than a game. There's people there coming for not just to watch and cheer on the team. They're coming there to meet with their friends and find something fun to do that they've incorporated into their community. They found community within this community.
Yeah, I like how you use the word community too, because it really does run the gamut from you have super fans that can talk about the players, their stats, other players on other teams, kind of like that fantasy basketball league kind of fan, basketball purists, all the way over to people who feel welcomed in a space that is really inclusive when it talks about gender, when it talks about race, when it talks about income, when it talks about age. There's that whole group too. And it all kind of somehow meshes together.
Yeah, like I've talked to a lot of like people who describe themselves as more artistic people and not athletic in any way, but they've found a space where they feel very welcomed, and they also get to express their artistic side at these games too. So it is, again, like that, the blending of worlds, and there's a space for everyone there. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk probably about the last decade of, sports have to be sports. Players shouldn't talk about anything other than sports, be anything other than sports. And the WNBA has, at least for the last decade, I should say its players have pushed back against that, and so has this organization. And would you think that that kind of outward-facing, community-minded thing that the Lynx has made people feel like, yeah, I could be welcome, I could give that a try, and it wouldn't be intimidating?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, just as common as seeing like pink wigs in the stands, you see people holding signs saying "Pay the players," because as much of a spotlight as there is on women's sports now, they're still not paid the same, and fans are really mindful of that, and they're supporting them in this game, but also in life. And I think Carly Knox, who's with the team, I spoke with her, and she was talking about just how their values are another draw for the fan base and why it keeps growing, because they stand for so much more than the game itself. They fight for equality in marginalized groups and people, again, who didn't necessarily follow sports, but follow or align in those values. They find themselves, again, like a home, and wanting to support something bigger than a game that aligns with their own values.
And you said yourself you're a basketball fan, so when those first timers come and maybe are there for that reason, do you, or did you hear them also say, and wow, I think I like basketball now, like they're enjoying the actual sport they're watching?
Yeah, I loved Allison. She's like in the beginning of the story, and she was like, I knew nothing about the game, and she found out by sitting next to other fans who told her like, this is the rules of the game, you know. And even I am a newcomer to the Lynx, I feel like, and I found myself very welcomed by this community too. I'm a big Wolves fan, and so now I'm on the Lynx bandwagon too. But again, I personally have experienced that welcomeness too. You know, like I don't feel like I have to know every single player's name or position or stats to be able to have a conversation about how much fans love these players. You know, like I can understand where they're coming from, and pick up on all the inside jokes and, you know, different, you know, the pink wigs. It's like, where did that come from? I think everyone's well aware of stud buds by now, but it's like, you can catch on pretty quickly.
Yeah, and in a way that, you know, doesn't feel scary. Tell me this, since you've covered the NBA a bit and the Wolves you mentioned, when you go to a Lynx game, do you find the same kind of passion, the same kind of basketball passion? Where do you see the basketball energy and IQ at a Lynx game?
Oh, I think the decibel levels are very equal at Wolves and Lynx games. And what I love, and not trying to like keep the franchises separated, I see a lot of super fans, Wolves super fans, attend Lynx games too. There's a lot of overlap and shared passions, and so I think there's just as much energy and electricity and passion for the Lynx as there would be at a Wolves game. Like you put someone in blindfolded, bring them to a game and let them decide if it's a Lynx or a Wolves game, and you would be surprised, I think.
Just by the energy and what they hear?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, you know, there's a lot of booing of refs at both games. I think we find that a lot in sports arenas, but I don't know. It just seems more positive at a Lynx game, I would say.
Oh, you didn't sit by me. My booing at the ref was not positive. But I'm working on it.
I mean, yeah, refs, you know, that's a universal truth as well. No matter what game you're playing, it jabs at the refs for sure.
You know what's interesting too with this conversation, what you wrote about today? I remember, gosh, I bet it was 10 years ago when it not that it doesn't happen now, but it was more, that drumbeat was more constant. So pre-Caitlin Clark, when Cheryl Reeve would get, you know, asked questions about why would I watch girls play, stuff like that, she would offer, she's like, I challenge you to go to a game and tell me what you see from a basketball level, that it isn't something that's entertaining, something that's good. And I think back to when she said that and where we are now. And I think that that's happened. I think that while she probably didn't get every person to take her offer, although they probably would at this point because she's so famous and beloved, that people did try it once, either on TV or in person, and they're like, actually, this is awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be easy to fall in love with this team and just the environment that is Target Center for a professional basketball game, whether men or women. And I think if you go to a Wolves game, you should certainly try out a Lynx game. And what this story showed is that if you are not a fan of any sports at all, I think you still might find a lot of joy watching the Lynx.
I was always the opposite. So I've been a Lynx fan. Everybody that watches my show knows that since its inception, go to a lot of games. And last year was my very first Wolves game. Never been to a men's game before. And I enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, this is neat. This is great. It's a totally different kind of basketball, but also entertainment and also good community, which to me speaks to the fan base that is kind of overlapping, because I meet a lot of Wolves fans at the games. And I'll just add this too. I go to the games alone now because I can't afford tickets for my whole family. But because I know that I am going to really enjoy the people around me. We're going to create like a little super group at the game and cheer together. And I make, 5 new friends, which is so cool.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of fans too, that they've found new best friends just by the people that they sit next to in their seats every game, and that's beautiful. I think to be able to create new friendships, out not just when you're at Target Center, but these fans are hanging out outside of games too,
I saw that yesterday. A fan was getting the phone numbers of the people around them to watch the games that will be played in Phoenix, the away games. And I'm like, wow, where does this happen? It's like the tailgate is inside as the game is going on.
Yeah. And there's I've heard of Lynx fans, they have created like these friendship groups where they do craft nights and make different, again, like that artistic expression, getting together to create different t-shirts or purses. And so I think it's rather limitless in what you can discover and the connections you can make at a game.
Well, Kim, I hope we get to talk again if we get to the finals, or dare I say, a title and a parade that will bring all of those people together. Thanks for coming on Breaking the News Plus. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Jana. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's all for this Monday night. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.